Well, Brian, how does it feel to be back?
It's brilliant, Bernard. It's come out of the blue for me. I'm really surprised but delighted to be available to offer any assistance I can to John O'Shea, who's obviously going to be the manager. And while he's putting his team together, his backup team, I'm really fairly elated to be part of John's team. He's been a brilliant player for Ireland. I was happy to manage him. I think some of the other staff may have been players that played in my time as manager with the underage teams and with the senior team, and we'll see where it goes. But first off, my initial reaction, without having great long discussions with anyone about the role, I'm delighted to be asked.
I know you're back, you're in with John interim, and it's just for March, but did you think this day would ever come that you'd be back wearing an FAI jersey and back on the training pitch?
I would have to say no. I thought it was very unlikely at this stage. I've been offered a couple of roles in the last few years. One of them was a bit of a mad one about being the media watchdog at one stage. I was offered that job, but no, I suppose I didn't think I would have the opportunity to be out on the training pitch, to be assessing players and maybe lending a word of advice here and there to players and to staff about trying to win matches, which I think is the most important thing now for this team, for the FAI and for these two games, is that the teams try to win the games and get football back on a positive note.
You obviously have been, an analyst with Virgin Media Sport. You've been talking about what needs to change with the Ireland team. I know it's only 2 games, but what are you looking to? I don't mean put right, but what are you looking to do in this window?
Well, I think John O'Shea's point of view will be, let's get performances from the players and let's try and get the best possible results before the management changes again. Obviously the FAI have been going about the business to identify and appoint a new manager. That hasn't happened yet, hence John is in place, hence I'm going to be available to help out for those 2 games, and maybe it will help the future manager on his roads to putting things back in order where we're really competitive in the coming competitive games when they restart in September.
I suppose some people from the outside looking in would say, look what happened with Eileen Gleeson. If all goes well in this window, there'll certainly be a feel-good factor with you back, Brian. John will be a popular choice. Could this be a coaching ticket that stays on?
I would think that's very unlikely, Baird. I'm only thinking about helping John for these couple of games. I'm not sure where John's position is in the longer term with the FAI. I think he's had the roles, with Stephen Kenny previously and with one of the underage teams prior to that. So maybe there is a further role for John in the future. But I think the most important thing is for now is let's concentrate on the work that's to be done for the next 2 games and try and get the best results possible from those 2 matches, and let the FAI get on with its work with the appointment of a full-time manager for the future.
What's the initial reaction when the phone rings and John runs this idea past you?
Real surprise, I have to say, and a certain amount of apprehension about what lies ahead. I mean, I know how difficult it is to get results in international football. I know how hard the job is, how tough the media scrutiny is on the people that work in the job, and how hard it is when the opposition are always as well prepared as they are. So, but there's a whole buzz around the senior international team, and there's such a love for football and in Ireland, and I, as much as anyone, understand the importance of the team is to the Irish public. But in among that is that we need to get results, and I'll be trying to help John to get the results that he'd like to have and the Irish public would want to have.
You mentioned the buzz amongst the supporters. I know we'll speak to John on Monday. I'm sure he's buzzing. Is there an extra bit of buzz in you now? Is this reawakened, the passion for what you absolutely love doing?
Well, I've never lost the passion for the game, Baird. I mean, people that know me, they've probably seen me, wearing my Pats scarf around in recent times, celebrating cup wins. But my passion for the game has never left me, and my passion for the Irish international teams and for their well-being and for the possibilities of us winning matches and qualifying for competitions, that has always been there. And now I have a little bit of an opportunity to try and impart some of the knowledge I've gained over the years and support the new short-term be a team that's in place to get some results and bring back maybe a little bit of enthusiasm that could have been lost over the last while.
To put the Ireland tracksuit back on, get back into the Aviva Stadium dressing room, picking teams or helping John pick teams, stuff like that. In some ways, do you feel there's a bit of unfinished business for you?
Well, I had 33 games and I had nearly 3 years at it, and I enjoyed that time. It was an absolute honour to have the position I had at the time. Maybe at the end of it I felt that it ended quicker than it should have from my point of view. I thought the results were quite good overall. It was a very fine line in many of the matches. There wasn't many games where we put in poor performances. But look, that's all well in the past. It's about the future now, and while not fully clear on what my role is going to be until I talk to John in more detail, I'm very, very happy to be involved in any way. And that means, chasing the balls around the training ground, or picking up some of the tracksuits off the ground, or wherever it is. I'm more than happy to do that if I can make a contribution. But I think I have knowledge and an understanding of international football that will help John in this short term.
I know the FAI will have a new manager in place in April, and that'll be the long-term plan. But in the interim, and that's what yourself and John are in for, I know you've referenced it there, is trying to repair or rebuild that relationship with the fans, get it back to where it was. Is that one of the top priorities?
I don't think there's been any problem between the relationship with the fans and the manager. The last manager, Stephen Kenny, Hartley to the end. There's never been any dilution of the support of the Irish supporters to the international team. There's probably been a bit of frustration for them around the results and the fact that we haven't qualified for tournaments, but I don't think that there's any repair job to be done there. But I think what they would like to see us is winning some matches. These are going to be two very, very difficult games against top class opposition in Belgium and Switzerland, and if good results can be achieved, I think it will help the confidence of the players going into the next stages and the next friendly games in June, and when the competitive games start later in the year for the new manager. So I'm happy to play any little part in it in the short term in supporting John and the staff to make that happen.
Good to be back.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. It'll just mean that I'll probably be going to a lot less Pats matches for the next while anyway. I'll be going to a lot of other games around the place and helping evaluate players and give an opinion when I'm asked, Bernard.
Good stuff. Best of luck with it. We'll miss you in March. We'll see you shortly.
I'm sure I'll be back quick enough.
Yeah. Best of luck with it. Thanks a million, Brian.
Thank you, Bernard.